Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. And Your Honor, I'm sure you've been advised we're gonna do Mr. Castillo Esquillo first.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please? You guys are muted at the jail.
Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get the full name, please?
Good morning, Ezekiel David Castillo.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. This is the time set for your review hearing. East County, out-of-county warrant. Looks like you have a sentencing coming up in Superior Court, sir, September 22nd. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so this is just trailing, sir, until all your local matters have been resolved. So I'll reset this matter to October 2nd at 9 a.m. for another review hearing. So hopefully you've been sentenced by then. All right.
I have a question because we've been doing this every time, and I'm wondering, like when are we gonna get the ball rolling on this Cochise County matter?
All the Pima County things have resolved. Do you have anything else here other than that Superior Court matter?
Not just that. I mean, well, I violated my federal, so I know when I get out of prison, I'm getting picked up by the marshals. So that's why I'm like,
Okay, and then your
It's gonna happen.
sentencing, sir, is that a probation available or is that prison only?
It's prison only.
Prison only. Okay. So at some point, Cochise County, once you've been sentenced, they'll decide whether they want to take you from Pima County or if they want to wait till you get transported to DOC to figure out if they want to transport you for this particular warrant that they have.
There isn't a way we can like do all this at the same time. Like, I mean, I've been here. There's no way I
Yeah, so
could.
this is just trailing, sir. This just trails until, because there's an outstanding warrant from another county. It just trails and you've been seen on it now. At least in this county, you haven't been seen on it in Cochise yet. So it just keeps going until everything locally has resolved. So by October 2nd, you've probably found out what's happening with it by then.
On October 22nd, I'll find out. You said.
No, your sentencing is on September 22nd in Superior Court. So I'm setting this review hearing from Cochise a couple weeks out from that. So by then, Cochise can decide what they want to do.
Okay, because I feel like I think they're not good. I might go to prison before the 2 weeks. So is there any way you can set it like before that?
No, because nothing's going to happen on this until you're done with your sentencing.
All right.
Okay. All right. Talk to your attorney if you have questions about it.
Yo, Garcia. Your Honor, this being Spanish interpreter.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Buenos días, señor. ¿Me puede dar su nombre completo?
Gil García, Oscar Herbey.
Oscar Hervé Gil García.
Thank you, Mr. Gil Garcia. This is the time set for your initial appearance.
Muy buenos días, le dice la juez, señor Gil García. Usted está aquí para su comparecencia inicial.
I'm seeing today on a new felony charge.
Lo estoy viendo hoy porque tiene un delito grave nuevo.
Counsel waive reading of the charge.
Yes.
Y le preguntan al fiscal que si se exenta, que se lean los cargos. Y dice que sí, se van a exentar los cargos, no se van a leer.
All right, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer callado. Todo lo que diga puede y será utilizado en su contra.
You have the right to hire your own attorney.
Tiene el derecho de contratar a su propio abogado.
I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Voy a nombrar al defensor público del condado de Pima para que lo represente en este asunto.
And you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today.
Y usted tiene un abogado defensor solamente para el propósito de hoy, de esta audiencia.
I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir.
Le voy a fijar condiciones de liberación, señor.
I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint.
Dice la juez, yo ya revisé la declaración declaración que me mandaron los servicios previos al juicio y también la denuncia provisional.
The state's written recommendation is a $750,000 bond.
La recomendación del fiscal es que a usted se le fije una fianza de $750,000.
Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Your Honor, given the gravity of these charges, the fact that we don't have any housing that is away from the victim, and this seems to have been going on for quite some time, it is the state's opinion that a bond is necessary and $750,000 is appropriate, as this person does pose a extreme risk to both disappear, flee from court, and to reoffend. $750,000.
Okay. Le preguntan al fiscal que si él tiene alguna recomendación y dice que sí, que si quisiera hablar y dice que sí. Su señoría, absolutamente esta fue una acusación muy, muy seria, muy grave. El señor no tiene dónde vivir que no sea junto con la víctima. Y parece que esto ha estado pasando por bastante tiempo, dice el fiscal. Entonces, nosotros pensamos que una fianza de $750,000 es apropiada, porque esta persona representa un riesgo extremo de irse y desaparecer o de volver a cometer delitos. Por eso insistimos que se le fije fianza de $750,000.
All right, thank you, Mr. Poston. Mr. Zarzicki?
Judge, a couple of things. I'll start with the obvious. There's Mr. Gil Garcia scored a 1 out of 1 on each scale. There's absolutely nothing on the street.
Y dice el abogado defensor, el abogado Cesensky, que está enseguida de usted, dice, obviamente, su señoría, quiero empezar por lo más obvio. El señor Gil García salió 1 de 1 en la escala de riesgo y no tiene absolutamente nada de antecedentes penales.
He has on himself, as far as his own biographic information, his own sort of status, there's no reason to believe he would be a continued threat or that he would fail to perform because he's never done.
El señor, dice su abogado, el señor él mismo y por la información que nos ha dado de su persona y geográficamente que no hay ninguna razón donde él represente una amenaza o que no se vaya a presentar a sus audiencias porque nunca lo ha hecho.
I know the state's position largely revolves around the nature of the new charge, but there are several problems with the new charge as well.
Y dice el fiscal, yo sé la postura del fiscal y por qué me lo está recomendando, precisamente por esta nueva acusación que acaba de salir.
To begin, despite Mr. Poston's affirming to the court that this has been going on for quite some time, based off the interim at least, unless Mr. Poston has information that I don't, the only indication that anything other than the incident which Mr. Gil Garcia is booked on is the statement of the victim. And the victim gave absolutely no timeline or any particulars to what it was that she was alleging had happened before.
Ahora, dice su abogado, y para empezar, lo que afirmó el señor fiscal, el señor Poston, dice que esto ha estado pasando por mucho tiempo, pero de acuerdo con la denuncia provisional, pues no hay información que sugiera que esto ha sucedido por mucho tiempo. Incluso la declaración que hizo la víctima no dice en la que en el incidente esto haya sucedido antes o que viene de hace mucho tiempo atrás.
Second, I want to make a probable cause argument on the interim complaint itself. In order for him to be charged with the crime he's charged with, there has to be some indication that there was actual manipulation of the body parts of the victim, the genitals of the victim. There's not. This is touching over the clothing. There's absolutely no evidence again, which we deny the allegations. But even if we take the state of the word, there's absolutely no evidence to reach the level of what he's charged with.
Y dice su abogado defensor. Y también quisiera hacer un argumento de la causa fundamentada, porque en la denuncia provisional no dice absolutamente nada sobre el delito como para denunciarlo y acusarlo al señor. No hay ninguna indicación de manipulación de los genitales o de las partes corporales de la víctima. No hay absolutamente nada que él la tocó solamente por encima de la ropa. Entonces nosotros estamos negando las acusaciones porque no hay pruebas de absolutamente nada.
And the last point I'll make is 750,000 is fantastical. This is somebody that works as a laborer, that's someone relying on other people for housing. 750,000 might as well be asking him to give up a kidney. Would ask if obviously we're asking for pretrial release, and if the court is willing to, or is not willing to do that, I mean, frankly, 10,000 is probably far more on standard. We'd ask for something 50,000.
Y dice su abogado defensor. Y lo último que quisiera mencionar es que la cantidad de $750,000 es astronómica. Y el señor trabaja en la mano de obra y el señor pues no tiene dónde vivir. Y también esta cantidad de 750,000 es como si le estuviera pidiendo su señoría que renunciara a un riñón. Entonces, pensamos que lo más apropiado sería dejarlo libre, pero bajo la supervisión de los servicios previos al juicio. Y si la juez no quiere hacer eso, pues francamente, no sé, una fianza de $10,000 sería más razonable. O si quisieran, pues menos de 50,000. Esa sería la recomendación de su abogado.
All right, thank you, Mr. Zarzaki. Mr. Poston?
Your Honor, looking at the definition of the charge that the defendant has been charged, the statute the defendant has been charged with violating, I don't see anything about skin-on-skin contact being necessary. It doesn't mention it at all.
That was not my argument.
Well, you said manipulation and
it requires manipulation of the genitals. Look up the definition of sexual.
I am looking at the definition.
It requires manipulation of the genitals. You know that.
I know that. Don't lecture me. I'm looking at the statute right now.
I never
Your
say
Honor.
anything. Skin on skin.
All right, Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard on anything further?
Your Honor, it's the state's position there does exist probable cause based on the plain wording of the statute and the allegations. That's
And
it.
may I interpret, Your Honor?
Yes.
Bueno, dice el señor fiscal que él está viendo que sí quebrantó usted el estatuto revisado de Arizona, el quebrantamiento donde dice que sí se apoya esta acusación, pero dice, no veo necesariamente que tenga que ser de piel a piel, contacto de piel a piel, porque esa ley, ese estatuto no lo menciona así. Más sin embargo, el abogado defensor de usted dice que eso no es lo que él dijo. Y el fiscal dice que está leyendo físicamente el estatuto, que no requiere ese delito manipulación de los genitales. Y dice el señor fiscal que él está leyendo de lo que dice el estatuto. Entonces, es la postura del fiscal que sí existe causa fundamentada para estos alegatos.
All right, thank you both. The court is looking at 13-1401, 3A and 3B for the definition.
Y dice la juez que ella está viendo el estatuto revisado de Arizona, el 13-1401 A, B y 3B. Está viendo la definición de lo que dice la ley.
It does include direct or indirect touching, however, does not include indirect touching during caretaking responsibilities.
Y dice que sí indica que es contacto directo o indirecto, más sin embargo hay una excepción cuando se está cuidando a la persona.
And Judge, despite the state's attempt to obscure the position of defense, it's not the direct or indirect touching, it's the manipulation of the genitals that's required in sexual contact. Not contesting. There's absolutely nothing in the interim that says that the genitals were manipulated. And the fact that he didn't directly touch goes to show that it's far less likely that the genitals were
Your
Y
Honor,
dice,
go
may
ahead.
I, Mr. Posen? Thank
Please,
you. Y dice
please
el
go ahead.
señor abogado defensor, dice el abogado defensor que él lo que está alegando es que la ley dice que tiene que haber habido manipulación de los órganos sexuales o íntimos para que se considere contacto sexual. Y él no ve en ninguna parte de la denuncia provisional que haya sucedido tal manipulación.
Your Honor, the last thing the state would note is that we have a 14-year-old. There's no indicia that this is for any personal care. And plus, the phrase in the IC says touching and grabbing. Touching is, in theory, passive, just making contact with one's hand. Grabbing, on the other hand, does speak to manipulation.
All right, thank you. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
it does say, oh, sorry, go ahead, interpreter.
Yes. Y lo último que quisiera agregar, dice el señor fiscal, es que estamos hablando de alguien de 14 años y que el señor no lo cuidaba para nada, no lo estaba atendiendo de una manera cuidándolo. Y también hay dos definiciones, que es tocamiento, que es cuando en teoría haces contacto con la piel de alguien más, y esto de agarrar. Agarrar ya tiene una inferencia de manipular.
All right, thank you. I'll just go back to the definition again. It does say direct or indirect touching, fondling, or manipulation.
Y dice la juez, otra vez voy yo a lo que dice la ley y a la definición de la ley. Y si dice tocamiento directo o indirecto, mascar o manipular.
The court believes at this point there is sufficient probable cause to move forward with the interim.
Y la juez determina en este momento que hay suficientes datos fundados como para proceder con la denuncia provisional.
Also, even though there is one charge only on this case, there is information regarding the victim's allegation that this has been ongoing since March or April of this year.
Y aunque en esta acusación de este caso solamente hay una acusación, con respecto al alegato, la víctima alega que esto ha estado pasando desde marzo o desde abril de este año.
The court does believe a bond is appropriate.
El juez determina que sí, la fianza, esa cantidad es apropiada.
We'll impose a bond of $150,000. It will be cash or secured.
Le pone fianza de $150,000 en efectivo o en garantía.
If posted or released, you'd be released to pretrial services, sir.
Si usted deposita la fianza, señor, va a quedar libre, pero bajo la supervisión de los servicios previos al juicio.
No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons.
Usted no debe de consumir ningún tipo de bebida alcohólica, no debe de consumir drogas ni poseer arma de fuego.
Absolutely no contact with the alleged victim, direct or indirect.
Definitivamente ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima o presunta víctima de manera directa o indirecta.
He must not go to her residence.
Usted no debe de volver a donde vive la víctima.
No unsupervised contact with any minors.
No debe de tener contacto con ningún menor de edad que no sea bajo supervisión.
And sir, if you are released, you must reside at a residence without minors.
Y si usted sale libre, señor, debe de vivir en un lugar donde no haya menores de edad.
Mr. Gil Garcia, your next court date is a preliminary hearing on September 4th at 1:30 p.m.
Señor Gil García, su próxima audiencia va a ser el día 14 de septiembre a la 1:30 de la tarde.
If you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Si usted no se presenta a su próxima audiencia, se puede emitir una orden de arresto para que lo vuelvan a arrestar.
You understand all that, Mr. Hugh Garcia?
¿Le quedó claro, señor García?
¿Mande?
¿Le quedó claro todo lo que ordenó la juez?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Gracias, señor. ¿Se puede retirar por el día de hoy?
Gracias.
Thank you. And Your Honor, may the interpreter be excused.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Devon Near.
Middle name, Richard?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Mr. Neer. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new felony charges, sir. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault, serious physical injury, discharging a firearm and sitting limits. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and even an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report, as well as the probable cause statement. The state's written recommendation is a $500,000 bond. I also need to consider whether, Mr. Neer, if you are to be incarcerated, if you stay here or at the juvenile detention facility. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is alleged to have shot an individual in the back during what looks like a drug deal gone wrong. One moment. Let me pull up the right screen here. Beg your pardon. One moment. Judge, again, we're looking at 3 counts: ag assault, deadly weapon, ag assault, serious injury, discharging a firearm in city limits. It has been alleged that the defendant was contacted. There was conversation on Snapchat over the sale of THC vapes. There was a meeting, and the suspect snatched the cash, and this was after a weapon was pulled. And during this transaction and this fight, the victim was shot. There is video surveillance. The victim suffered multiple broken ribs and a collapsed lung due to the gunshot. Thankfully, he did seem to survive. They had to do, per the IC, looks like multiple chest tubes, and the bullet has remained, because of its location, is in the victim for the time being. Post Miranda, there were certain admissions, and based on all of this, Your Honor, the state is of the opinion that this person is a incredibly high risk to the community and should be held on $1.5 million.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zarzicki.
Judge, I'm at a bit of a, I don't know, disadvantage, I guess, for lack of a better term. I do not have access to his pretrial services report because he is a juvenile and it's not up for me for some reason. I will note, though, I'm guessing I can already pretty much tell what it says. He has no criminal history. Yes, this is a violent felony. Again, without even looking at the PTS report, given the nature of the felony, I'm guessing it triggered an NBCA flag because they almost always do. And I'm guessing, given that he's a juvenile, there's confirmed housing for him. licensed housing that can be easily confirmed you get to live.
Yes.
He's nodding yes, indicating that is indeed the case. Yes, everything Mr. Poston just said is, I mean, this is a serious incident. I'm not going to try to claim otherwise, especially when you have someone that is seriously injured due to the ribs and the bullet in general. But that being said, this is also very much a he said case as far as what went down the transaction. The part that Mr. Poston skipped over is what he said post Miranda was a completely different version of events from what the alleged victim in this case said. Now, having said that, I know when Mr. Poston responds, he's going to point out that Mr. Neer was inconsistent with that, and there were obviously some issues for the police not to believe him. Be that as it may, that just highlights further that the actual way that this went down, as far as who the aggressor was, what triggered the initial incident to happen, is very much based off of the statements of the victim. And the victim is not walking into this case clean, because the victim was engaged in, depending on who you believe, either an illegal drug or an illegal gun transaction, one of the two. So with all that in mind, I think there is some very serious questions to the credibility of the victim. I do think, given the complete lack of any sort of history here, the low scales, the fact that he is a juvenile, the fact that he has housing, that keeping him at this point is not serving any additional purpose. So we would ask for enhanced pretrial services. If there is going to be a bond in this case, he's indicating pretty much any bond is going to be unaffordable for his family. So we would ask something more in the range of $10,000, 10 to 20, and then we would also ask because of the detention issue.
All right, thank you. And I forgot to ask Mr. Zarsik, you're still okay with going forward, even though you don't have a copy of the pretrial services report today?
Like I said, the court can gauge how far off I was on it, but from talking to him, just
on, sir.
I-
One,
I-
the MVCA, his mother and aunt have some housing and no juvenile criminal history.
yeah, just kind of-
Okay. All right. The court does intend on posing a bond. Mr. Zarzicki, do you want to be heard on whether he should remain in Pima County Jail or at the juvenile detention facility?
Yes, I would ask for transfer to the juvenile detention facility. A few reasons for that. One, frankly, and I don't need to besmirch any of the hardworking people standing in this room with me, I do not trust the jail's ability to keep people safe. The death record history of the jail would indicate it's not particularly a good skill set they have, and given that he's a juvenile, that is the main concern of Rule 7.7, is ensuring that he is properly housed and protected. The jail is dramatically understaffed. They are incredibly overwhelmed. I get more visitations canceled than I'm able to see my clients. Adding yet another person to their population, especially one that has to be kept under very specific restrictions under international law, does not behoove them or him or his ability to go forward on representation. If this were a case where it was a sex crime or there was, an allegation of an assassination type murder or something like that, then yes, we could make the argument that the increased facilities of the jail would be necessary, appropriate here. Juvenile is more than capable of holding somebody accused of this sort of crime, especially someone with no history like he has. There's no advantage to putting him into the adult population. As I pointed out, several key issues that will interfere both with his rights to effective representation and, quite frankly, put him at a higher risk for death or serious bodily injury for no good reason.
Thank you. Mr. Posen, does it say want to be heard on the housing situation where he should?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the state's position that this individual should be housed in the Pima County Adult Correctional Center for the following reasons. One, best interests of the juvenile being detained in the facility and the others in the juvenile facility as well. Your Honor, in this factor, the state believes that a person who has shot another person by definition, has shown themselves to be capable of some fairly heinous things. Therefore, 14, 15-year-olds, maybe even 13-year-olds who may be in the facility are put at higher risk from a person who, for all intents and purposes, a mere 8 months from hitting the arbitrary, albeit legally necessary line, is this individual's present. This individual would put the other juveniles for nonviolent regular who are in the juvie. Excuse me. This individual has shown a level of danger such that his presence in juvie would be a undue risk to the other juveniles. That council doesn't trust the jail staff is neither here nor there. It's not a reason. I would see most of the incidents in the jail seem to be from somebody overdosing, which taking drugs is not something this person is alleged to do. Now, physical and mental maturity. I don't know that there's going to be some eureka moment where a switch flips in the defendant's mind such that he's suddenly a mature adult. His present mental state, there's no indication presenting an imminent risk of self-harm. However, the fact is, if somebody knew enough to know that this is the guy to go to buy THC vapes, this is probably not his first crime. He's just the first one he's apparently been caught for. The nature and the circumstances of the alleged offense, this is a millimeter in either direction of the bullet, or a surgeon who wasn't nearly as good as the one that treated the victim here, and we'd be looking at a murder. There are no subsection 6 prior delinquent acts. The state has no information. 7, the ability of the facilities to meet the needs while protecting the public and the safety of their juveniles. Your Honor, juveniles are kept on their own segregated pod in the jail. They are never left in the presence of adults. And if this case goes more than 8 months, we're actually less than 8 months, he's an adult, and this ends up moot. And as far as the adult detention facilities programs, if he wants to get his GED, I'm sure they'll be happy to help him get his GED in jail. And other factors, Your Honor, this person shot somebody in the course of this person allegedly shot somebody during the course of an alleged drug deal. And as far as defense counsels having, in general, a difficult time getting hold of people in the jail, really not an issue. That's the fact that the jail is a rough place shouldn't benefit this defendant because the lawyers don't like it when things go on lockdown. Things don't go on lockdown unless somebody does something in the jail to begin with.
That's
Your Honor, the state therefore submits that the defendant should be held in the Pima County Adult Correctional Center.
All right, thank you. All right, the court does believe a bond is appropriate in this matter, given the allegations in the probable cause statement as well as the charged offenses, risk to the community, risk to the alleged victim, or harm to the alleged victim. Or impose a bond of $100,000. It will be cash or secured. Mr. Neer will be housed at the juvenile detention facility. He will be transported for hearings. The juvenile detention facility is ordered to transport Mr. Neer to hearings at the Superior Court, virtually for arraignments if there is one in the future, and in person for other criminal matters, unless otherwise ordered by the court. So if you do post that bond, or if you're released subsequently, you'd be released to pretrial services. You would have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons whatsoever. No contact with the alleged victim. Don't try to go find him or anything like that. Next court date serves a preliminary hearing on September 4th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender. If you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Neer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
I can't. Hold on. Do we have a message that's on there? Here. That's her.
Phone number. They're supposed to give it to me. They haven't given me a phone number. They didn't even give me socks or underwear.
Do you know her phone number? No. What's her name?
TC Skinner.
Okay, I will see if we can pull her information from the pretrial services. Get in touch with her and give her an update. Okay.
When will I be getting transferred?
I don't know. You'll have to talk to these 9 people. They're the ones that handle all that. Okay. All right. I will give her a call and update her if we can get in touch with her to track her down. Like I said, feel free to ask her to them and you get your attorney call this week. Okay. All right, you're good to go.
Go on. On over here, Senor Brown chair. To the defendant.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jorge Sean Nava, 08 2000.
All right, good morning, Mr. Ochoa Nava. This is the time set for your review hearing on your Cochise County warrant. So it looks like you have a pretrial conference coming up in Superior Court August 27th on Wednesday. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, sir, this is just trailing until all your local matters have resolved. Do you know what's happening at the pretrial? Do you know if you're going to be taking a plea or setting a trial date?
So far what I heard from my lawyer was saying like they were just getting my old plea from my juvenile plea and my juvenile probation record, and
Okay, so you're still.
I might have might have a shot of dismissing the case.
Sounds good. So we'll just reset this out to September 25th at 9 a.m. So like I said, it's just trailing to see what's going on, but it looks like there's still your attorney's still working on things, so it's not going to quite resolve this week. Okay. So we're setting this out a month out till September 25th at 9 a.m. and then to see what's going on with your Superior Court case by then.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Excuse for today. At Aho, are you guys available to see Mr. McAllister right now?
Yes, Judge, I'll go get him now.
Oh.
Was it?
They want to do somebody else before you.
Oh, so okay.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Anthony James McAllister.
Thank you, Mr. McAllister. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Ajo Justice Court for a new misdemeanor charge of failure to comply with a court order domestic violence. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So today, sir, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. You're going to get released from jail today, assuming you have nothing else holding you in. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. It looks like there is an outstanding order of protection, sir, that Ms. Lindsay Tabak has gotten. So it's up
Yes,
to her.
can
So hold on.
I say something?
Hold on. Let
Okay.
me see all my things first, and then you can ask any questions. It looks like she's still wanting contact with you and all that, but however, that is still in effect. So if she wants it quashed, she needs to go get that done, or you can contest it, and at that point, you can both show up, that sort of thing. But legally, it's still active, all right? So one of you have to.
Understood.
Your next court date is September 9th at 9 a.m. at the Ajo Justice Court. When you get released from custody, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. If you fail to appear for court,
Understood.
warrant can issue for your arrest. Yes, you had a question, sir?
No. I was just going to say it was, Your Honor, what it was I was clean for 2 years. I relapsed. She just didn't want me around the house and the baby. That's why she got it. But I've been clean for almost 10 months
She's
now.
okay with you.
So we're back.
So
Yeah.
you have to get that taken care of so that
You will today.
All right, sounds good. All right, you're excused for today. Thank you, Mr. McAllister.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Hey, I think we'll
You want to know?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jeremy Russell Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. This is the time set for your review hearing. I'm seeing you on your out-of-county Yavapai County warrant. So it looks like you have a case management conference coming up on Friday locally in Superior Court. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is an out-of-county warrant, so it just trails until all your local matters have resolved. So we'll reset this out for a month, September 25th at 9 a.m. just to see where your local charge is at. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
That's everything.
All right, good morning, sir.
Hello. Hello. Avery Sanchez.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. This is the time set for your review hearing on your Maricopa County warrant. Looks like you're still pending a local matter. You have a sentencing coming up in a couple weeks, September 17th.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
So this just trails until all your local matters have resolved. Do you know if that's a prison-only plea or if it's probation available?
It's I'm gonna be sentenced to 1 year in DOC, which I will have 7 months, 10 days at that time of sentencing, which on kind of puts me in the I know it's honestly what is that called when like a time served type deal.
Okay, so you might be on parole or something pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I should be going from I'm not sure whether you guys are gonna take me from here and extradite me back to Maricopa, or will you let me go through the process?
Right.
and
So
go
that
to
will
these-
that'll be up to Maricopa County what they want to do, because really we have no interest in this. It's their warrant. So I'll reset this out till after your sentencing, because you're sentencing on the 17th. I'll set to September 25th at 9 a.m. By then they should decide either you have been picked up already, or they'll decide to get you from DOC or wherever it is. So we'll reset it till then.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Is there anything that can I mention about my pretrial services? Am I still let's say because I would actually be finishing my sentence.
So you have
Would
a
I still
bond on this warrant, sir. So
Yeah.
so it's $1,000 bond. You can post it. So if you're on parole or what have you, and you want to get out, you can post this bond, and then you would have to go to Maricopa County and go there to quash the warrant there.
Okay. So All right, yeah, because I was wondering about the pretrial services and the bond too. At what point could I post that, make and get that moving forward?
Yeah, you can post at any point, assuming you haven't been held without bond on something because of the DOC sentence that you're gonna get.
No, I don't have I think I'm eligible for to post that bond, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but this one, yes, you can post it, and if you do this hold will no longer be here. You would have to go. That warrant would still be outstanding for Maricopa. You'd have to go and get a court date there to quash it.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This morning. You have a good one. Bye bye.
Good luck, sir.
All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. And they're going to look outside, that's where you're gonna go. President's waiting here. All right. Right there. Oh, wow. Wait, that's what I'm talking. Have a seat, sir.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Good morning. Jacob Lawson, Deas.
All right, Mr. D, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Pima County Justice Court for new charge of theft, which is a misdemeanor. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. So, sir, today I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court dates. You'll get released from jail today. Conditions include no contact with the alleged victim of the theft. Don't go back to the incident location at 2nd and Olive Avenue. Your next court date is going to be on September 4th at 8:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. When you get released from jail today, sir, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. There'll also be a phone number. If you can't make it that date for some reason, you call them in advance to reschedule. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Mr. Dees?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You're excused for today, sir.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Come on, speeding, so this one. Okay. Thank you, right. Right, folks, everything besides me, all right?
Durban. Durban. What's the country out there? Yes.
All right, good morning, sir. Could I get your full name, please?
How you doing? Yes, ma'am. It's Anthony Ray Escalante.
All right, good morning, Mr. Escalante. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Pima County Justice Court for a new misdemeanor charge. It's for criminal damage, domestic violence. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, is there somewhere you can stay that is not with James?
Yes, ma'am.
And where would you stay?
At my brother's?
All right, and does he live in Tucson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any property at James's house right now?
Yes, but none that is needed.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear at your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with James Rayburn while your case is going. You must establish a separate residence. You said none that was needed, but if you choose to, you can go back with police escort to pick up those personal belongings.
Perfect.
Your next court date, sir, is going to be September 4th at 10:30 a.m. at the Pima County Justice Court. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. There'll also be a phone number on there. If you can't make that September 4th date for some reason, please call them to reschedule. Otherwise, a warrant can issue for your arrest if you don't show up. Do you understand all that, Mr. Escalante?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Thank you much. Have a good one.
You're all the way out. On that side of the boy.
Yes. Nice.
Who's next? Eldon? Have a seat, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I am Eldon Matthew Walker.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walker. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Marana City Court for a new misdemeanor charge for criminal damage, domestic violence. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. All right, so in this case, sir, if I release you, is there somewhere you can stay that is not with your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Where would you stay, sir?
Jarrett Settlemeyer, my stepdad.
Okay, is he local?
He is.
Do you
1.5 miles.
Do you live in Idaho right now?
I am a current resident in Idaho, but I am moving down here for career occupations.
And you said your father is local here?
Yes.
Do you have any property at your mother's house?
My work vehicle and my cats.
Okay. So I'm going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with your mother while your case is pending. You must establish a separate residence. You can return one time with police escort to get your belongings and your cats before you move out to your dad's place. Your next court date, sir, is September 24th at 10 a.m. That's about a month from today. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information, the date, time, address, phone number. For some reason, if you can't make that date, sir, you call them in advance to reschedule. If you don't call them in advance, you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. No problem. I'll be there in person.
Thank you. You're excused for today, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can we move Mr. John Walker till tonight for tonight's court?
Could I get the reason for why?
He's going through kind of a little medical situation over here. They're seeing him, and
Okay.
I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it today.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Benoit?
Hold on, ma'am. Just one moment. All right. Thank you for your patience. Can I have your full name, please, ma'am?
I'm Ashley Taylor Benoit.
Thank you, Ms. Benoit. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you at a Tucson City Court for some new misdemeanor charges. They are for criminal damage and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. All right, ma'am. So I'm going to release you today on your own promise to appear for your next court date.
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on, my apologies. I misread your charges. It's criminal damage. It's just one misdemeanor charge there. But I am still releasing you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Your stepfather, Nicholas, is okay with you returning to the shared residence if you choose. He's okay with further contact. That's up to you. Your next court date, ma'am, will be September 29th at 9 a.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information, date, time, location, address, phone number. If you don't show up to that date or you're not available to make that date, call them in advance to reschedule it. If you don't reschedule, you just don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Ms. Benoit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Benoit, have a seat in that brown. Dakin?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Cristian Camilo Daquin.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ducking. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing out of Tucson City Court for some new misdemeanor charges: assault, disorderly conduct, preventing the use of a telephone during emergency. Those are alleged to be domestic violence, and criminal damage, disorderly conduct as well. All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one, one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, is there somewhere you can say that is not with Vivian?
Yes, I can reside with my father.
Okay, and he's in Tucson?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any property at Vivian's place?
Little minor stuff, but it's nothing too serious.
All right, so I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So you're getting out of jail today. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Vivian while your case is ongoing, don't go to her house or her work or anything. If you do want to pick up something you said it was not too serious, but you have some things there, you can return with law enforcement escort only to pick those things up.
Yes, ma'am.
You're up on your own. And you're also to report to your adult probation officer, sir, upon your release from custody.
Yes, ma'am.
Next court date, sir, is September 30th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. It's a little more than a month from now. When you get released from jail, you get a sheet of paper with all the dates, time, address, location, all that. There'll also be a phone number. If you can't make the date, call them in advance to reschedule. If you don't reschedule, you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Dakin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
You have a wonderful day.
Mr. Dix.
Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Stephen William Dix.
Mr. Dix, this is the time set for. I'm seeing you out of Tucson City Court this morning, sir, for a new misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, if I release you today, is there somewhere you can stay that is not with Kirby?
She has my car, everything. I at least need to pick up my car.
Okay.
She has my wallet, my car, everything like that.
Do you have somewhere else you can stay while your case is going?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. I mean, I can have somewhere else to stay.
Okay. And that would be local?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So you'll get out of jail this morning, sir. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Kirby while your case is ongoing until further order of the court. You must establish a separate residence. You can return one time with police escort to pick up your personal belongings and your vehicle and that sort of thing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your next court date, sir, is September 30th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. There's also a phone number on there, so if you can't make it for some reason, you call them in advance to reschedule. If you don't call them in advance, you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Dix?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I have a question. If my wallet is in my personal belongings, because she's at work, am I able just to go there, pick up my car, and leave?
If you know she's at work and she's not there, that's fine, but just to be safe, you might want to get that escort.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have a question?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir. You're excused for today.
Jorge Lopez. Oh, we have sir for left-hand side of the board. Down the steps.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jorge Lopez Jr.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lopez. This is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing out of Tucson City Court for some new misdemeanor charges. Disorderly conduct, domestic violence, 2 counts, driving under the influence, and liquor in a vehicle. All right, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. All right, sir, I'll be setting some release conditions for you here. If I release you today, sir, is there somewhere you can stay that is not with Shannon?
I don't live with Shannon. I'm on Manhattan Mountain Place.
Okay, great. All right, I am going to release you, sir, on your own promise to appear for your next court date. Well, just give me one moment. All right, so I'm going to release you today, sir, from jail. Conditions of your release include do not drive without a valid driver's license, no acts of domestic violence, no contact with Ms. Shannon Reeves while your case is ongoing. Don't try to go find her at her house or work or anything like that. Like I said, I'm appointing the Tucson City Public Defender to represent you, sir. Your next court date is September 30th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. There'll also be a phone number on there. If you can't make that date for some reason, you call them in advance to reschedule. If you don't call them to reschedule, you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Lopez?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I'll enter not guilty, please, on your behalf. You're excused for today, sir.
John Hatton.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
John Edward Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. This is a time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today for a new charge out of Tucson City Court for disorderly conduct, domestic violence, which is a misdemeanor. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, today I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. You may have continued contact with Tori if you choose. That's up to you. You may return to the shared residence if you choose as well. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. That is your only term of condition. Of course, make your next court date. Next court date is September 30th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. It's a little over a month from now, but when you get released from jail this morning, sir, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information, including the date, time, address, location. There'll also be a phone number. If you can't make that date for some reason, sir, please call the courthouse to reschedule your court date. If you don't call them, you don't show up, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence but not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Martin? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'll enter not guilty, please, on your behalf, sir. You're excused for today.
Dallas Matthews.
At the jail, we're having some technical difficulties. Just give us a moment.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sir, have a seat, please.
It is still recording. Oh, there we go. We're good. Okay. All right, right back on. Thank you for your patience there. All right. Good morning. Can I get your full name, please?
Yes, Dallas, Dakota, and Matthews.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Matthews, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you out of Tucson City Court for a new misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct, domestic violence. You also have a failure to appear for assault, domestic violence. That was from March of this year. All right, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. It's ordered consolidating this matter with CM 25012-129. That just means you have one court date you have to worry about because you have another city court case pending as well. So everything's just together. It's consolidated.
Instruments.
All right, ma'am, looks like you're a student. Where do you go to school?
I go to Canyon Rose Academy on Wilmot and Golf Links. And also, am I able to tell you that I did actually get that warrant squashed from the failure to appearance? I actually went down to Tucson City Court, but I talked to someone and they said it was squashed.
Okay, did you see a judge though?
Yes, I did.
Okay, when was that? Like ballpark?
It had to be like July, most likely. I want to say July 29th, August 20. No, it's August. So July 29th, yeah.
Okay.
And I do have a court date on September 2nd for the court case that's going on, not now, but before. And that court hearing, I think, is basically me saying that I'm willing to do the domestic violence classes and that I am able to pay them. and I am willing to do so too.
Okay. Give me one moment. And ma'am, you're going to school, is that for community college?
No, it's high school, ma'am.
High school, okay.
Yes.
And do you have transportation?
Yes.
I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date. So you're getting out of jail this morning. Everything is consolidated, so that September 2nd date is going to be actually vacated. It's going to be pushed back to September 23rd now. So everything is one court date. When you get released from jail, you get a sheet of paper with a new date on there.
Okay. Also, my I know this is part of the court case that happened, just now. Well, not now, but today. Well, yesterday, my dad said that his girlfriend is gonna put a restraining order on me. Is there any way that I am able to move out if she does that? Because, we don't get along anymore at this point, and I have somewhere to go, most likely.
Yes, it looks like Kaylin is okay with you staying with him potentially.
Oh, Colin?
Colin?
You mean? Yeah.
Yes. And I'm actually going to give you some other orders here. So no acts of domestic violence while your case is ongoing, no contact with Sienna. You have to establish a separate residence at this point. So looks like
Okay.
Kaylin or Colin is good with you staying with him if that's what you'd like to do.
Yes, please.
But of course you can return with law enforcement escort to get your personal belongings before you move out. All right. Next court date is September 23rd, ma'am, at 2 p.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. Make sure you don't miss it again. Or if you can't make it for some reason, you call in advance to reschedule it. If you don't reschedule, you don't call, you don't show up, another warrant can issue and you don't want that. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and you're not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. So it's your best interest to keep on top of this. Make sure you show up, okay?
All right. Does that mean the warrant is off my name? I'm sorry for asking so many
No, that's all
questions.
right. No, the warrant, I mean, you're seen on it now, so it's officially got now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You're excused for today, Miss Dallas or Miss Matthews.
Thank you.
White?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Caleb Wyatt.
Thank you, Mr. Wyatt. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on new misdemeanor charges out of Tucson City Court. They're for criminal damage and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. Sir, if I release you today, do you have somewhere you can stay that is not with your wife, Ayana?
Yes.
Okay, where is that?
Down the street, there's an apartment. Do you need the address?
No, that's all right, as long as it's local.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's local to Tucson.
All right, sir, I'm going to release you on your own promise to appear for your next court date, so you're getting out of jail today. Conditions include do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Miss Ayana is okay with further contact, but she doesn't want you back at the house. So for now, establish a separate residence. You can go back with law enforcement escort to pick up your personal belongings before you move out. Next court date is September 30th at 1:30 p.m. at the Tucson City Court. When you get released from jail this morning, you'll get a sheet of paper with all the information. It's a little over from a month from now. So if you can't make it for some reason, you call them in advance to reschedule your court date. If you don't call them, you don't show up, it's not going to go away. A warrant can issue for your arrest if you don't show up. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence and not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. You understand the consequence of felony show to court, Mr. Wyatt?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You're excused for today.
Yeah. And let's get
Hold it.
I don't feel like it's all easy. That's okay. This is why.
All right, good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Good morning. I am Lori Ann Moulton.
Thank you, Ms. Moulton. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for some new felony charges, 2 counts of aggravated assault on a police officer. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. It also looks like you have a Title 36 hold at this time. All right, ma'am. I'm going to set some release conditions for you. I have reviewed the pretrial service report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Your Honor, state would amend to 2,500. It wasn't aware of the Title 36 hold.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zerzicki.
Honestly, Your Honor, given the status of the Title 36 hold, I'm inclined to defer to the state. Let me explain what that means to the client real quick, though, just in case. In other words, any time superior if the judge does mention jail charges, you already have served that time. Okay. Sorry.
It's a little confusing.
Your Honor, 1 second. Let me mute this. Gotcha. All right, Your Honor, I talked with her at length. All right, so here's where we're at. I'm going to change my position and argue for pretrial release. Normally, we would defer on her getting time. Here's the issue. After talking with her, she obviously has some pre-existing mental health issues, some pretty serious ones. She's had to have compulsive therapy for them. So, I mean, she's had some substantial treatment. There is the pending Title 36. Her concern, as well as mine, is that if we do put a bond in this place, it might delay her potential release for treatment. She is fully connected with Kodak. Like I said, she's been engaged in services, stuff like that. So we would ask that the court consider a release to pretrial services so that if and when the Title 36 gets resolved, she's not stuck in that bond in this case and she can stay for treatment.
All right, thank you. All right, given that information, Ms. Moulton, I am going to be releasing you to pretrial service on this case. You still have to figure out what's coming out with your Title 36 case. Release to pretrial services means you have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring or treatment as pretrial directs you to. Please continue treatment with Kodak. Do not initiate contact with the named officer victims. Your next court date is September 15th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Ms. Moulton?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're excused for today.
Thank you.
Sure. In the middle, all the way around. That's what. Okay. Mr. Alexander Christian, you're up, sir. Madam Chair, Attorney Executive, Judge.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Christian David Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on 2 different matters today. You have new felony charges for possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm also seeing out of Tucson City Court for failures to appear for criminal trespass and theft shoplifting. You also have a new misdemeanor charge for theft shoplifting. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your felony matter, I will appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and even an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting release conditions for you, sir. We'll talk about the felonies first and then the misdemeanors. The state's recommendation. Whenever the pretrial services upon the imminent complaint, the state's written recommendation is released to pretrial and certain post times. So, Poston, is that all correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Zerzicki. Waive time for the preliminary hearing. All right, Mr. Alexander, the state is saying you may be eligible to participate in a drug treatment diversion program for the felony charges. Would you be interested? So that program, sir, is called STEPS. The state does a screening to see if you qualify. I'll set you a STEPS hearing for next Monday, or next Tuesday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. at the Pima County Superior Court. So you show up, you find out if you qualify for that program, you participate in it, you enroll in that program, you complete it successfully, they will dismiss the felony charges. connect you with providers and things for treatment. I will release you to pretrial services on your felony case, sir. You have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. The pretrial services officer is very hands-on. They'll send you lots of reminders on what you need to do, where you need to go. No drugs, no alcohol while your case is pending, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not return to the incident location, the Walgreens on 22nd Street. The preliminary hearing date is pushed back to October 9th at 1:30 p.m. so that you can participate in the program, sir. All right, it's very important that you show up next week to Superior Court to find out if you qualify for that program. For your city court matter, sir, because I'm releasing you to pretrial on the other matter, I'm going to release you ROR on your own recognizance on the city court case. So you don't have to check in with anyone. You have to make sure you show up to court, though. No contact with any alleged victims of the trespass or the shoplifting. Next court date is September 29th at 2 p.m. at the Tucson City Courthouse downtown. So when you get released from jail, sir, you'll get 2 sheets of paper. One will be about the steps for the drug diversion program. The other one will be about the misdemeanor things. There'll be 2 court dates on there. Make sure you keep track of those, make those court dates. If you don't, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Trial can go without you. If you're convicted at a trial in your absence, but you're not able to be sentenced within 90 days due to being on warrant status, you may lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to show to court, Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Thank you. I want to not go to prison on your behalf, sir. If you need to, you may want to step by at the Pima County Transition Center. They're just outside of the jail. They provide for temporary housing. They can sometimes provide a phone and things like that. So they have some resources. You may want to stop by there.
Okay.
Excuse for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll answer for the next 7 weeks.
All right. Good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Alarcado Pimentel.
Thank you, Mr. Pimentel. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on some new felony charges. You have misconduct involving weapons, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of narcotic drug, theft, drug paraphernalia, and criminal trespass, which is a misdemeanor. All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. State is requesting a $7,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
Judge, I'll point out some of the standard stuff here. He's a level 1, is what he's here. 3-2 on the 2 scales. He only has 1 prior drug felony from 2015. And it looks like he did not successfully complete probation, but he was ultimately terminated. It looks like for 35 days in jail. So obviously not the most serious drug possession in the history of the world. Given that there is a nonviolent, this is a nonviolent felony, given that it's essentially just drugs except for the allegation of the possession of a firearm, which he claims he found that day, didn't use, just had it on his person. It would explain why he was even in the dumpster in the first place if he saw a gun worth grabbing out of it. It actually makes sense given the situation. No indication that he had ever used it, any intention to use it, just happened to have it on him along with the drugs. No history of any sort of violent conduct. With all that in mind, we would ask for the court to consider release to pretrial services. If not, we would ask for less of a bond than the state's. Again, we strongly hope for release to pretrial services.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cano Pimentel. I'm going to give you a chance on pretrial services to be released from jail. You have to keep in contact with pretrial as frequently as they ask you to. If you don't keep in contact with them, you kind of fall off the radar. The next judge is going to hear about it. All right, your release conditions can be revoked. No drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no weapons while your case is pending. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. No contact with the alleged victim of the theft. Your next court date, sir, is September 15th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact. with your attorney, the public defender's office. For court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Cano Pimentel?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Golden?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jaden Goldman.
Thank you. Mr. Golden, this is the time set for initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on some new felony charges. Actually, excuse me, one felony charge. It's for stalking domestic violence. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. Name attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $10,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
Other than referring the court to the Form 4C, no, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, I did see there's a Form 4C. Let me just take a look at it real quick. All right, thank you. Mr. Zarzicki.
Judge, there are a couple things I want to address first. First off, in the state's recommendation, the state says one of the grounds that stated is that he is facing mandatory prison time. I don't. What's the basis for that? The crime itself is mandatory prison. Any stretch.
Counsel, that was an error on my part. I checked the wrong box.
I appreciate that. So he's not facing mandatory prison time on this. In fact, likely, given the nature of the charges, it's going to be probation available. And second, that brings me to my second issue. I do have a probable cause argument. I don't know why this is a felony. In order for stalking to be a felony, there has to be a reasonable apprehension of death or serious bodily injury. This is an incident where somebody, was, again, we dispute all allegations, but if we take the interim complaint at its word, where he was pounding on a door, which it sounds like later at night, which is a terrible idea, potentially could disturb people's peace, and where he had 23 unanswered phone calls, which again is also way overkill, and definitely something that would annoy somebody and even potentially put somebody in some fear of harm or further harassment or something like that. That's all understandable. But there's no grounds that says that anything would put anybody in fear of bodily harm, serious injury, or death. These were all strictly nonviolent offenses, and again, I don't know how we get to felony level when we're dealing with knocking on a door late at night and unanswered phone calls. So that's my argument on the problem.
Thank you. State want to be heard on the probable cause argument?
Your Honor, the fear that a victim feels of death or severe bodily harm is entirely subjective, and it would appear that the investigating officer believed the defendant when he or she expressed her state of mind. State submits.
If I can follow up on that, Your Honor, it's not entirely subjective. In fact, it has to be reasonable. Under the law, it's required to be a reasonable fear of bodily harm. So it is not entirely subjective. Second, we don't get to take the officer's supposed belief at its word. There's nothing in the actual statement of the interim complaint that would indicate that any reasonable person would have fear of death or seriously bodily harm from this.
Okay, I see from the interim complaint, it says in one of the phone calls, Mr. Golden allegedly said he had a gun and threatened to kill Veronica, victim's mother, as well as to threaten to kill victim. Victim was in fear for her life, believes Jaden is capable of killing her. So based on allegation that he stated, allegedly, that he had a gun, there's an admission as well, something about a gun as well. I do think there's sufficient probable cause of injury. All right. I do find that there's sufficient probable cause to move forward at this point.
And then as far as the issue of the hold on this, Your Honor, having said all that, okay, we have somebody that has no criminal history whatsoever, no juvenile history whatsoever, is a 1 and 2 on the scale. Yeah, I will take the court's determination that this serious enough of a threat. And again, I don't mean to belittle the overall issues that the state is raising here. The only concern is whether or not he's at risk to not show up to court or at risk to continue to be a future problem. Again, we're talking knocking on a door and we're talking phone calls. We're not talking him ever taking the gun and brandishing it, any sort of even assault with his hands. There's no reason to believe that with pretrial services, restrictions, and monitoring, obviously no contact with the victim, whatever things we need to do to ensure that happens, that the victim can't be kept safe. So we would ask for release to pretrial services.
Thank you. All right, sir, I'm going to release your pretrial services, but it comes with stipulations, sir. You have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they tell you to. No drugs, no alcohol, absolutely no acts of domestic violence. You need to turn in your weapon if you have one to pretrial services while your case is pending. No contact absolutely with Patricia. Don't go to her house. Don't go to her work if she's working, or if she's in school, don't go there. No contact also with Sari and Veronica, her mom, and I guess Patricia's friend, Sari, whatsoever, indirect or direct. All right, your next court date starts a preliminary hearing on September 15th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that date or a future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all the conditions, Mr. Goldman?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Tanya Gonzalez.
Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Tanya Fastadia Gonzalez.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on a new felony charge of possession of dangerous drugs. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney and appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. Name an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is released to pretrial screen for steps. Mr. Poston, is that all correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
We're okay. Let me talk to her real quick about it.
Yes.
Second, to put you into a diversion and charges dismissed. But in order to do that, you have to waive your right to the state to make a decision whether to formally leave a certain period of time. Okay. So to give them time to do that, are you okay putting off here in sort of formal time means the state time?
I'm not gonna be released today.
Be released today. She's okay with waiving time.
All right, thank you. So, ma'am, you may be eligible to participate in a drug treatment diversion program. Would you be interested? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, so that program, ma'am, is called STEPS. The state does a screening to see if you qualify for that program. I will set you a STEPS hearing for next week, September 2nd. That's Tuesday at 9 a.m. at the Superior Courthouse. So you'll find out next week, ma'am, if you do qualify for that program. If you qualify, you enter into the program, you complete it successfully, you do the treatment that they ask you to, they will dismiss the felony charges. All right, I will be releasing you to pretrial services. You have to keep in contact with that agency as frequently as they ask you to. They're very hands-on as you participate in the STEPS program. They'll send you lots of reminders and things. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. The preliminary hearing date is pushed back to October 9th at 1:30 p.m. That gives you time, ma'am, to participate in the program if you choose. And so you know if you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand all that, Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're excused for today.
Shyla Govan.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Shyla Ruth Govan.
Thank you, Ms. Govan. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today for new felony charges of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $10,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
Judge, a couple of things. I recognize that there are some indicia sale here. I assume that's probably the state's has on that they are. But that aside, this is a nonviolent offense. She scores moderate on the two scales. She has not had any criminal charges since 2018. Finished up her last jail stint from those in 2019. Has been avoiding any sort of police contact since then. It looks like. Well, I shouldn't say that. Any sort of new charges since then. And both of her prior charges, I mean, the one is the most recent is drug related, and the older one is, frankly, things we normally see associated with drug use. Given that this is strictly a drug use, given that the state of the vehicle and where she was located would at least indicate there's some reasonable possibility that that was the indicia sale was not hers, that she was more possessing just the drugs that she, or drug paraphernalia and drugs that she essentially admitted to possessing, again, allegedly, and we're denied all of those things. But given all of that, she would seem to be a very good candidate for pretrial services, so we'd ask for at least get insurance to those services.
All right, thank you. All right, the court did note in pretrial services that Ms. Govan is currently employed full-time in Maricopa County and has housing there as well. Ma'am, typically I do hold people on a bond for sales cases, but given your circumstances, I do believe that release to pretrial is appropriate today. And you release to pretrial services, you have to keep in contact with them as frequently as they ask you to. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not return to the incident location, 631 West Miracle Mile. You may continue to live and work in Maricopa County. Your next court date is September 15th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, or the legal defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, ma'am, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Ms. Govan? All right, thank you. Excuse for today.
Thank you.
What?
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Lee Maximilian Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge of possession of dangerous drugs. And looks like you have a hold out of Department of Corrections at this point. All right, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against. Yes, from Department of Corrections. All right, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you. Name attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $5,000 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
Can give me 1 second, Your Honor. I want to talk to you. We have some questions.
Okay.
Judge, I'm very confused on this case, and after talking to Mr. Hunt, I'm actually no less confused. So he indicates, so the reason he was on parole was from a murder charge from 2006. Ag assault is what he actually eventually fled to. He indicates that, and as does the record, that he got sentenced to 18 years of prison time, and that sentence would have began on May 21st, 2007. He shouldn't have any more prison time. He says that they tacked on an additional parole even though he had already completely finished his sentence. I have no way of checking DOC records to see what the heck is going on with that. But based off what I'm reading, it looks like he should have already killed his number back in May. So I don't know that parole is valid. Again, kind of similar situation to the last time. I appreciate Mr. Poston's position. I understand why he's asking for the bond. Normally, I would defer to it so he can get time credit. But frankly, I don't think this parole is valid in the first place. And if it can get cleared up quickly, which I suspect it can, I'd like him the opportunity to get released. Also, obviously, with steps, because he has a chance of diversion on these new charges. So I would ask the court to consider release to pretrial services. And if DOC has to take him back to clear this up, I just don't see him being in the state. If it fails, if it ends up that he does have to do more time, then I would anticipate on DOC time the state can ADS and the court can impose conditions at that point.
Thank you. Is the jail, I'm assuming, still showing the DOC holds? So it's valid. All right, thank you. Just reviewing one thing here. Just trying to look at the minute entry from the sentencing back in 2007, but looks like because it won't let me look at it. So
yeah, I didn't have any work for it. I think it's a little bit.
All right. And Mr. Zarzicki, did you want a steps hearing scheduled?
Yes, we would have steps. We cover steps.
All right. So due to the DOC hold, hopefully that will get cleared up. But due to that, I am going to impose a bond at this point. It'll be $500, cash or secured. You'd be released to pretrial service if that bond is posted and your DOC hold lifts. I will set a steps hearing for you. So what does that mean? So you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program because this charge is just for personal possession. Would you be interested in getting screened for that? Yes. Okay, so I'll set a steps hearing for you September 2nd at 9 a.m. You may or not be qualified for it, but they'll do a screening for it. You'll find out next week if you qualify for it or not. If you do post the bond or if your DOC hold lifts and you're released to pretrial, no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Next court date is September 4th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the legal defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Hunt?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, or what's this case where you're saying so it's okay. What I would suggest the slate is to wait till you get to your attorney because we can check on the sense see this.
State of Arizona, it's weird here. This is the only state where you do 115% of your time. I got so. And so I got sentenced, and that lawyer sat on the bench and said, "Mr. Hunt, I can sentence you to 18 years in Department of Corrections." I did every minute of the 18 years.
Because the problem is when you post the phone, just stop on right. Stop. DLC will take it right now. Stop. Here. So I'm going to touch here. Sure. If you need to. Hold on. Let me mute this real quick. Yes. All right.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Dominic Jimenez.
Middle name, Philip?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jimenez. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing today on new felony charges, possession of marijuana for sale, and possession of weapon during a felony drug offense. All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. Name an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting some release conditions for you, sir. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. State's victim recommendation is a $7,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
Your Honor, the state simply notes the quantity that we have here, and these are dealer charges any day of the week, Your Honor, $7,500.
Thank you. Mr. Zerzicki?
A couple of things, Your Honor. So first off, I mean, yes, to Mr. Poston's point, there is a good amount of drugs, allegedly, again. Assume I'm always giving a standard disclaimer that the purpose of this argument is seeing the points in the obviously contest all of it. But yes, Mr. Poston, given there is a good amount out here, it's all marijuana, and I don't mean to, be de minimis about the fact that that's a good amount of marijuana. It's marijuana, and along with some vape cards. He has a reasonably good score on the assessments. He has, hold on a second, lost my notes on this. He has a reasonably good score on all the assessments. He has no criminal history. He does have confirmed housing. He has confirmed employment. As far as the gun goes, for the interim, the use is a strong word. It was tucked into the side of the car. It was never in his possession. Directly in his possession. He never held it, brandished it. Never actually any indication it did anything other than just live there and tucked beside the seat. Which, frankly, carrying around that much product, it's if he literally had that much marijuana on him, I would expect him to have a gun in order to protect himself. So I understand it is illegal in this case. That is well in excess of the amount he's legally allowed to have. But the gun was not any assisting in committing any additional felonies here. So with all that in mind, we'd ask for orders to pretrial services.
All right, thank you. The court does believe a bond is appropriate in this matter. Mr. Jimenez, I'm going to hold you on a $2,500 bond. It'll be cash or secured. You'd be released to pretrial services if that bond is posted. No drugs, absolutely no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons whatsoever while your case is pending. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Your next court date, sir, will be September 4th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, sir, whether it's that September 4th date or future date, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Jimenez?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
So I just so you get a trade. Don't touch your attorney if you have any that or if you can get that reduced. But for now, you'll get a letter from us the next couple days.
I'd be able to leave today.
If you post it today. Okay. Lewis.
All right. Good morning, ma'am. Can I get your full name, please?
Sydney Lynn Lewis.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Ms. Lewis. I'm seeing you today on 3 separate matters. We have a out-of-county warrant from Santa Cruz County for possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. We also have new felony charges from Pima County for dangerous drugs and drug paraphernalia. And you have a Tucson City Court failure to pay misdemeanor for drug paraphernalia. All right, ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. For your new local felony charge, I will appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I will be setting some release conditions for you, ma'am, on all 3 of your matters. We'll start with the local charges first on the felony. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is screened for steps, released to pretrial. Mr. Poston, is that all correct?
That is all correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
Yeah, and yes, and we'll defer on all that. And let me talk to her real quick. Stuff. She's okay with waiving.
All right, and regarding the out-of-county warrant, Mr. Zarzicki, would you want a nominal bond if the court holds Ms. Lewis on the out-of-county warrant?
Yes, we would ask for a nominal bond. I didn't notice. I mean, we don't have any, which is not uncommon. We don't to get it. So I mean, entirely deferring to that. One second, she is.
Yes, go ahead.
Judge, what she's indicating, and I don't know what the court's paperwork reflects on it, but it makes more sense looking at the pretrial services report, which she's telling me. This sounds like very similar to what we've been dealing with. I know Santa Cruz has kind of had the same policy where, given the nature of the offense, she was not initially charged. They dismissed and waited till they were able to charged it, and then issued either a warrant or a summons. That's part I can't tell out of the arraignment. Some hearing of it, or I'm assuming maybe she doesn't know. And in terms she wasn't aware of that court date. So, given all that, we'd ask for the court to consider releasing her on the bond as well, and allowing her to go take care of that second case. If not, we'd ask for to impose whatever as minimal of a bond as the court feels is necessary.
All right, thank you for your patience. All right, Ms. Lewis, typically when we see people from out of county, we have to honor the out of county warrant amount from the bond amount from the judge from out of county. But given your situation, I am going to release you today. All right, on your local charges, ma'am, you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program for drug treatment. Would you be interested?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that diversion program is called STEPS. I'll set you a STEPS hearing for next Tuesday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. You do have to show up at the Superior Courthouse in Tucson downtown to find out if you qualify for that program. The state does a screening to see if you qualify. So you'll find out next week on Tuesday. If you don't show up, they're not going to consider you for that program. If you do show up, you do qualify, you participate in it, you complete it successfully, they will dismiss the felony charges. All right, so I release your pretrial services on your new local charges. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Please take care of the warrant from Santa Cruz County and waiving time for the preliminary hearing date. Preliminary hearing date is pushed back to October 9th at 1:30 p.m. And that's to give you enough time to participate in the program if you choose to do so and if you are qualified. For your Santa Cruz County warrant, I will release you on your own promise to appear. You have to call them to schedule your next court date to quash the warrant over there. So you have to be seen by a judge over there. Otherwise, it's just going to be outstanding. Okay. And on your city court charges, ma'am, that's the misdemeanor for the paraphernalia. Looks like you received a citation and did not appear for that citation. So that one, I'll release you on your own promise to appear as well. No drugs, no alcohol. Next court date is September 25th at 9 a.m. at the Tucson City Court downtown. So, ma'am, when you get released from jail, you'll get 3 sheets of paper, one about the steps for next week, one about the Santa Cruz, a phone number that you have to call to schedule your next court date there to quash that warrant, and another one about the Tucson City Court, which is in about a month from now. All right, you got a lot of things to juggle right now, okay? But I'm taking a chance on you, so please make sure that you get those taken care of. Make sure you show up at that steps. That's the first step, which is showing up at that steps during next week. Right? All right, you're excused for today, ma'am. Thank you.
Murieta, Murieta. Hello.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please? Well, thank you, Mr. Murieta. I am seeing today on a new felony charge of possession of narcotic drugs in Pima County. You also have a failure to appear out of justice court for an assault, failure to appear out of Tucson City Court for theft and drug paraphernalia. Those are all charges from 2024. And I'm not seeing you on this right now, but looks like you have a warrant out of Pinal County for probation violation. All right, sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. On your new felony matter locally, I'll appoint the Pima County Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting release conditions for you, sir, for all of your matters. All right, and we're going to start with the felonies first. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. State's written recommendation is a $7,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
If I can speak with them for just a second here.
And at the jail, can you all confirm if Mr. Murieta has a hold from Pinal County probation?
I never knew.
It's confirmed, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Murieta about this. He did not know about this. He indicates he had spoken with the CPO right around this time and didn't know that there was a violation warrant ever issued. Be that as it may, he obviously had several months after that he was avoiding any of your charges, was doing reasonably well until this happened. This is steps eligible. I frankly, Your Honor, I'm kind of deferring to the court a little bit on this one, given the things unrelated to what I'm representing him on or we're representing him on. because as far as the new charge goes, I will point out it's a nonviolent offense. It is steps eligible. He does obviously have some criminal history, or kind of the one we just talked about, but the vast majority of it is, I mean, it's essentially all drug stuff. The only non-drug is an offense that was possession of weapon drug stuff. So, he's not a danger to himself or the community. He did do, I mean, he was, he was on probation for a little bit before the violation was issued, and like I said, he wasn't even aware of that. So we'd ask the court to consider releasing him to pretrial services, but if the court, and he's also interested in rehab, I know the court can't order that right now. But if the court does want to hold him on a bond, we'd ask for something as minimal as possible, so that he potentially, because my big concern is this, is if he has a probation warrant out of Pinal County, he's held on a bond that can't later be posted or lifted. He's not going to get credit for his probation time down here until we can actually go up to Pinal and get something resolved on that. And Pinal might not come pick him up, given how kind of warrant is. He won't be just stuck down here, not getting time on this Pinal warrant. You'll get time towards this, obviously, but that is my biggest concern. So I'd ask for a smaller bond so that he has the possibility to get these things resolved now in the future if the court is not willing to release to pretrial services.
Thank you. All right, so just to be clear, Mr. Marietta, I'm not seeing you on that Pinal County probation violation hold. You'll be seen some point in the future in Pinal County on that. I can't see you on that. It has to be done by Superior Court Judge in Pinal County. All right. On the new local charge star on the narcotic drugs, you may be eligible to participate in a drug diversion program for that. Would you be interested?
He is the one, and also to have them charge you within a certain amount of time so that they can get the screening process before they charge you. Are you okay with that? It won't affect your release. If she holds you, it'll be just because of the warrant. With this stuff, generally we almost always let people out, so it's the warrants are not out there now. Yeah, this won't impact that at all. He's okay. Yes, he's interested, and yes, he's okay waiving time.
Okay, thank you. So, sir, the program is called STEPS. The state does a screening to see if people qualify for it, but it's based on the nature of the charges. So I'll set you a STEPS hearing for September 2nd at 9 a.m. So you'll find out next week if you qualify for the program. If you do qualify, you participate in it, you complete it successfully, they'll dismiss the new felony charge on the narcotic drugs. If you don't qualify, then they'll just proceed to indictment as usual if that's what they choose to do. All right, I am going to hold you on a bond of $50 on the new felony charge. It'll be cash or secured. Released to pretrial services, bond is posted, and the out-of-county hold is lifted. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Preliminary hearing date will remain September 4th at 1:30 p.m. And the reason, sir, I'm putting a bond on here is if I don't do that, Pinal County will just take you. All right, then you won't be seen on anything locally. So. All right, we have a failure to appear in Pima County Justice Court. That was from 2024. I am going to impose a bond on that as well because there was a failure to appear previously. It will be $100, cash or secured. If you do post that or appear released, no drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the alleged victim of the assault. I'm appointing you an attorney. Robin Ald will be your attorney. You'll have to see a judge tomorrow, August 26th at 1 p.m. for the Justice Court matters. See a judge quickly on that one. And your attorney, McCall, will be there. On the Tucson City Court case matter, sir, like you have 3 failures to appear on that one. Going to impose a bond of $250, cash or secured. Appointing you the Tucson City Public Defender's Office to represent you. Again, if you're released on that one, no drugs, no alcohol, do not return to any incident location. Next court date is next week, September 2nd at 1:45 p.m. So you'll find out next Tuesday about the steps if you can participate in it, and then you'll also see a judge in Tucson City Court about your city court charges. So you have attorneys on all your cases, sir, and your court dates are coming up pretty quickly, so you'll find out what's going on with the steps and all that. All right, if you fail to appear for court, as you can see, warrants can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Murieta?
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. You're excused for today.
Sir, good yourself.
You're gonna get your full name, please.
Yes, Your Honor, it's George Cedro Spurley.
Thank you, Mr. Spurley. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on new felony charges of possession of narcotic drugs and possession of a weapon by prohibited possessor. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. You do have support in the courtroom right now. I think it's your wife that's here for you, sir. I'll be setting some release conditions for you. I have reviewed the pretrial services report and the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $3,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would the state like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Zarzicki?
Judge, I will note, first off, the state's bond request is not, it's reasonable given the nature of the charges, but we'd ask for the court to consider release to pretrial services. These are nonviolent offenses. There is a possession of a firearm, but again, not actually really used at all in this. Frankly, I also think that there's some search issues, some very serious search issues on this case, but that's I'm not raising a probable cause argument because I do think that that's something that's going to be reserved for the trial attorney. But the bottom line is this was a stop for a traffic violation. The only reason he was searched is because the officers felt a smoking device, which again, don't think is not a probable cause. And then doing a following search found drugs for personal possession and a gun that he never grabbed, never used, never did anything with. So with that in mind, we'd ask for the court, and obviously his wife's there, and he's got housing, he's got plenty of ties to the community. He's currently employed. He's currently employed at a Circle K full time. So with all that in mind, we'd ask the court to consider release to pretrial services. If not, we'd ask for something less than the $3,500 bond.
Thank you. So I'm going to release you on a $1,000 bond. So it'll be $1,000, cash or secured. You'd be released to pretrial services if that bond is posted. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial. Absolutely no weapons, sir. All right, next court date is September 4th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Spurley?
I do, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You're excused for today.
Jeffrey Target.
You're going to go up with your weight. It's been tough to work about that, but yeah, it's so $100 with the need for the side. You can so much. There's any regular attorney about it. Okay, we'll have to that. Yeah, it's
Sorry, Your Honor.
this number right.
Can I have this?
Yeah, that's yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome.
Have a seat, sir.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Jeffrey Walken Tardif.
Mr. Tardif, this is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you today on a new felony charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. In certain instances, if you cannot afford one may be appointed for you. So, sir, in this case, it looks like the state is requesting to dismiss without. Is that correct, Mr. Poston? The court will grant that request. Mr. Tardif, I'm dismissing the case without prejudice. That doesn't mean it's gone forever. The state may still choose to bring it in the future, but as of today, it's dismissed without prejudice. So you'll be released from custody.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Yeah, sir, probably 10 seconds.
All right, good morning, sir. Can I get your full name, please?
Good morning, Brian. Word.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. This is the time set for your initial appearance. I'm seeing you on a new felony charge for criminal trespass. And sir, it looks like you have a warrant out of Pennsylvania. It is non-extraditable at this point. I'm not seeing you on that, but just so you know, that is out there.
I did make that, Your Honor. It should be lifted any day.
Okay. All right. Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to hire your own attorney. I'm going to appoint the Pima County Public Defender's Office to represent you. And you have an attorney seated next to you for purpose of today. I'll be setting release conditions for you, sir, on the new local charge of the trespass. I have reviewed the pretrial services report, the interim complaint. The state's written recommendation is a $2,500 bond. Mr. Poston, would you like to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Zarzicki.
Judge, level 1 assessment, not really the most nonviolent charges. It's just a criminal trespass. He does have the warrant out of Pennsylvania, but obviously that's unrelated to this. He's in the process, thinks he took care of it, at least it's in the process of it. He does have residence in Tucson. He's a full-time concrete worker. So he does have some ties to the community, not extensive, but, obviously, given the nature of the charge, I mean, I don't know that there's a risk of him missing court or going out there and trespassing under new locations. His residence. So with that, I ask the court to release pretrial services.
Thank you. Mr. Ward, I will release you to pretrial services. So you get out of jail today, sir. You have to keep in contact with pretrial as frequently as they ask you to. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Any monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial. Do not return to the alleged incident location. Your next court date, sir, is a preliminary hearing on September 15th at 1:30 p.m. That date may or may not go forward, so please keep in contact with your attorney, the public defender's office. If you fail to appear for court, sir, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand all that, Mr. Ward?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused for today, sir. All right, at the jail, is that everyone?
That looks like all of it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your days.
Thanks, Judge.
Well.